Before I introduce the distinguished guests today, thank you all for being here to celebrate and honor our awardees. It's a great family. I couldn't think of a better profession. And again, thank you just for being here, taking time out of your day. But to my right, your left, we have some distinguished guests. And we have two staunch supporters of fire rescue, public safety, and just the county in general, the goodwill of the county. First, our chair, Ed Campy. And District 1 Commissioner Doug Smith. Also, we have two great leaders as well. We have, it's amazing every day. You all don't get to see a lot of the things that happen at what I refer to as 2401, the admin building. But it's a grind. Imagine a shift that you're running 15, 20, 30 calls a shift. We refer to it as a grind. Well, they go through the grind every day, after hours, on weekends, and so forth. And I can't thank enough for their leadership. First, your county administrator, Taryn Krista. And the deputy county administrator, Don Donaldson. And I suppose you left George in charge of the comm? All right. Okay. Is that safe? No, kidding. One more shout out to George Stokas, our assistant county administrator, who does a lot to support us every day as well. So thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this is Memorial Day weekend coming up, and we have any veterans in here? I know we have a few. If you'd please stand to be recognized. Please remember what Memorial Day is for. It's to remember the fallen that have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our freedom. Before I get into the awards, I'd like to call up your county administrator, Taryn Krista.
Sorry. Given the fact that I don't have a voice this morning, I'm going to yield my time to Commissioner Campy, which is your District 5 Commissioner and the chair of our commission, to do some comments, because I can't do commissioner or administrator comments. Commissioner Campy.
Good morning, everybody. What a special morning this is. I appreciate Ms. Krista giving me an opportunity to address you all. I see we have video cameras, so I can't give you the speech that I was going to give you if this was more of a private meeting. But I'll keep my comments general. We are so very fortunate in Martin County to have you all and the folks that you're representing protecting us, saving us from a lot of the incidences we get ourselves into. As your chief said, you will not find, thank you, you will not find more staunch supporters of you all and what you're doing and what you need to do and what you need to have in order to do that job. Commissioner Smith and I have been at this a while. He's in his 5th term, and he has never wavered. I'm now in my 2nd term, and I will not waver. I feel in my heart that the roles that you play for us are the most important function in Martin County government, most important function in any government. I told people when we argue about, this dollar and that dollar and where should the money go, that I believe very, very strongly that our residents expect the first dollar of tax money to go to public safety, fire rescue, and the sheriff's office. There is nothing that people need more than your protection and your skilled, compassionate hand for saving us and rescuing us. And so to get to come and represent you, to get to come in front of you and give my gratitude and my appreciation is an honor. I have the opportunity of knowing many of you. I look through here and see so many friendly, familiar faces. And the ones that I don't, I just want you to know that as long as I'm sitting up there, and if you watched the commission meeting last Tuesday, when the chief came looking for additional staffing that would make your jobs safer and more efficient, you have our support. So God bless you, and I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
Awards for firefighters, for ocean rescue lifeguards, for telecommunicators, for EM, for mechanics, for all of fire. Oh, that's right. We're a full-service fire rescue agency. How many in the state of Florida? One. We're it. That's the reason why when so many people ask us what makes us so special, well, we do it all. There's nothing we don't do. Oh, the SWAT medic thing, we're getting to it. It's coming, trust me. But you look at this and awards to so many people who do so much. The person who answers the 911 call that the mother is screaming at the top of her lungs for help. The lifeguard who's willing to jump into an angry ocean and whatever other hazards are in that ocean to save a life. A paramedic who breathes life back into a child. A firefighter using the jaws of life to extricate a patient from a mangled wreck before they bleed to death. A mechanic who keeps our apparatus safe and ready to respond every day. EM, emergency management, always preparing for the next event. I don't know, how's this hurricane season looking? He's shaking his head. It's not good. Or your stereotypical picture of a firefighter running into a burning building to save a life. We do it all. That's what we do. But we also have folks to thank that support us every day. IT, general services, libraries. Libraries? Yeah. During the storms, who's answering the phones? Who's coming in? Think of the team that we have around us every day, the leadership that we have that make Martin County the greatest place to live and work. And I mean that. We can't do it without their support. Let me give you a little history on the awards you'll be seeing today. There it is. All right. The unit citation is handed out to any group of 2 or more members who make up a company, section, or team, or employee work group who has performed in an outstanding manner worthy of recognition. The Distinguished Service Medal may be awarded to a member of the public or community who has displayed a heroic or outstanding meritorious service on behalf of the community. And then we have the Medal of Gallantry. That's awarded to a member who's displayed valor at the risk of life, above and beyond the call of duty, to an employee or to a member of the community who in certain consequential manner procured and or saved the life of an individual or an attempted rescue. I will call the individuals up and then read what it's all about. I'm going to read all the names of the awardees today. Some are not present with us. That's okay, but I want you to hear the names of everybody that's receiving an award. First up, special recognition goes to Deborah Hanson, Bob Harding, and Seth Pollock. Please come forward. Let me talk about support. Guess what? You can't do anything nowadays without IT, and that's a fact. We have embraced technology in the fire service and everything we've done, and they have propelled us and made us much more efficient, and they've improved our safety. About a year and a half ago, we decided to switch EMS reporting software. Anybody remember that? Yeah. I thought it might jog a few memory or brain cells there. You could say it was extremely challenging on the implementation process, and the problem is unfortunately the person didn't have the foresight at the time to involve our friends from IT to make this a smooth transition. Well, keep the story short, what happened was about that time you had a new fire chief, an interim fire chief, and that would be me. And so the first thing I did is I reached out to IT and I said, help. Please help, this thing is a mess. I'm sorry, things didn't work out or things weren't facilitated the way they are, but please fix it. They worked countless hours, took phone calls, rode with us on calls. This is just a representation of a whole team of IT people that bailed us out of a major debacle. And again, we learned our lesson. It was all because we didn't involve them from the start. So if you're putting in any requests for IT improvements and so forth, remember the first thing goes through them, and then they lead us the rest of the way. So again, thank you so much for helping us out. The following people, if you would come up and line up to my left, right over here, please. Rich Chapman, John Ewing, Anthony Foster, Colin Hayhurst, Chris Kaczynski, Nate Paderis, Matthew Resch, Michelle Rice, Joe Shrednwaba, and sorry, Joe. One of these days you'll teach me how to say that last name. Ed Stagmiller, Rob Udensky, Jason Wiggins, and Cliff Williams. I'm going to read the first part of this, and then I'm going to bring up a few more people. But I'm going to tell you this first. Can you imagine having law enforcement officers out there without a range that they can practice how to fire a weapon every year, come in and go through that process? Probably one of the highest risk things that they do, yet it's a low frequency event. So they have to be prepared, just like an NFL receiver, when the ball's thrown to them, they have to be prepared, hey, you can't drop it, it's game time. Well, much like a firefighter, one of the highest risk things we do is run into burning buildings. And we have to stay proficient at that. We have to stay proficient at all types of hazards, but that is one that is always a concern for us because we're not sure. We're usually presented with 20 to 30% of the information, and we're making decisions based on that. So to stay proficient, we need exposure to training. And we need to train so we can't drop that ball, ever. We haven't had a training facility in quite some time, so I worked with the county administrator and Mr. Stokas, who's now with us, and we procured some piece of property and we started to get some shipping containers and so forth. And these guys said, hey, let me at it. So starting back in October of 16, these individuals started to assist and facilitate the construction, design, layout, and other aspects to build this temporary burn facility until we got the permanent facility down the road, which is underway. These members supplied the construction crew with materials, supplies, and tools necessary to complete the burn facility. While some individuals assisted with welding, cutting, and other construction tasks, these members of Fleet Services Logistic Division and others assisted with, like I said, tools, materials, and other aspects to make this happen. Now, let's talk about the four horsemen, should we call you? Neil Amerson, if you all would come up right here to my right. Neil Amerson, Freddie Driscoll, Billy Kirk, and Dave Nunley. I think... only missing Freddie on this side. These are the guys, blood, sweat, and tears into this. Additionally, again, back to the design, layout, construction, they contributed countless hours, both personal and off the clock, laboring in hot, humid weather, sometimes through the night, and made sure the facility was completed in a timely manner. And I mean through all hours. They made sure the safety measures were in place. They were meticulous craftsmen during the construction of the temporary burn facility. They volunteered their services in a truly altruistic manner. That selfless service that we're all about. Because of their efforts and sacrifice, we have had a temporary burn facility and has put the entire department through it to, again, raise the level of safety and efficiency of the service we deliver to the community. Thank you to all of you for an unbelievable task. I know. Act like we like each other. Too long. Jason. Following folks come up, please. It's Roy Offert, Alton Brisky, Alexander Filipovsky, James Horton, Keith Kolodny, Christian Montoya, Rocco Napoli, Dave Nunley, Chad Rector, Lawrence Robertson, Pete Satur, and Kathy Von Esslinger. But on August 27th, these folks were part of a team that worked together to save the life of a 3-year-old little girl that was bitten by a shark in Bathtub Beach. From the beginning of the incident, our lifeguards worked unbelievably well. I mean, they do every day, but it's just the teamwork. I think sometimes we take for granted of all the teamwork that comes together in fire rescue, from, again, the answering of the call to the teamwork, initial patient contact, and then delivery of care or transfer of care over, and then obviously getting to a fixed facility for definitive care. But this gal, this little girl, she had a potential mortal wound. I mean, had they not acted like they did, there's no doubt in my mind she would not have made it. Recognizing the severity of the incident, staff immediately called for LifeStar, our aeromedical unit, and our team over here actually obviously initiated advanced life support care, transferred care over to LifeStar, and actually we got her to a trauma center and we had a positive outcome. It was amazing the efficiency that this happened, because when you look, generally when I sit back, I don't like the Monday morning quarterback stuff because I wasn't there on the scene. And I had enough of that when I was on the street for years, that people would tell me that I should have done this and I should have done that. My usual answer was, you weren't there. And we had a lot of obstacles to overcome. But sometimes I look at these the call coming in, the initiation of care, the transfer of care, and then getting to a trauma center, and I'm thinking, how in the world did they do that quickly, that efficiently? Well, it's to their credit that they're that great of a team. So thank you. Again, it's amazing. After seeing the destruction caused by Hurricane Irma, these folks here decide to band together and provide support, especially down to the Keys that was devastated. We all know how bad that was, a certain area of the Florida Keys. It's just amazing how they come up with creative ways to help and carry the adequate number of supplies down there, and they weren't supported by us. They did this all on their own. This is their own money, their own time, their own vehicles. It's just that altruistic, like I said, that selfless service that's built into our DNA. They went down there and they not only just helped out with tarps and drywall and so forth, but they made a difference to the point that we had people coming up here to visit. One guy happened to be, I can't remember his name, but his parents still live here in Martin County, but he lives down there and he works down there. The guy was in tears in my office, telling us how great our people are. I said, I know, we're blessed with that. But they went down there. How many days were you down there? 5? And how many homes did you touch? You don't remember? I don't know if there's ever enough thank yous for what you did. But somehow, moving forward, we're going to find a way to better support this, to help out our fellow community within the state when they reach out and they need our assistance. So thank you so much. It's amazing what you did. I can't say enough about it. Thank you. All right, Stephen's getting 2 awards here, but I'm going to read the whole thing. It's, again, it's just what we do. On November 11th, 2016, a toddler was drowning in front of the mother and sister. 2 small children had gotten too close to the shoreline when a large wave hit them and pulled them right out into the ocean. I don't know if you all remember this, but it was just, I want to say a few weeks ago, up, I can't remember if it was Outer Banks or something. I'm thinking North Carolina. But a small child was taken out to sea by a wave, and that wasn't a good outcome. Stephen recognized the situation unfolding and began running as fast as he can to get to her. He dove into the waves, sand, rocks, you name it, and without concern for his own safety. He emerged with the little girl in his arms. Without his efforts, that little girl may have been lost. In addition, there's a letter that was written to our Ocean Rescue Chief, Beckett, and just talks about these 2 gentlemen and how well they work together, not just that day, but I think it's just a outstanding look at what they do every day. But let me read the letter. We have been residents of Hobe Sound for the last 8 years. We love our beach and our community. On Friday, November 11th, we witnessed something that has been left an impression on us that is everlasting. We were enjoying a wonderful day at the beach with friends. The water was quite rough. All of a sudden, we witnessed what could have been a horrific scene. A child and her father were being swept away. But thanks to the heroic lifeguards you have, they were rescued. We just want to praise the lifeguards, Steve Calhoun and Sam Mahoney. You should be very proud of your staff. Understand, one goes in for a rescue, the other backs up. They work together as a team. They can't do it without each other. So, again, thank you, gentlemen. Most every call starts where? With our telecommunicators, dispatch, and they help out immensely. Sometimes they actually use instincts to figure out what's going on, because sometimes all the information that they get, and I think I mentioned that on Tuesday too, they're only as good as the information that comes in. And they are very well trained, and they do a heck of a job at figuring out, and talk about earlier, we actually run into burning buildings with 20 to 30% of the information, but guess what? They can't see, hear, or smell anything. They just have a voice on the other end of the line. And half the time, it's like watching a short little murder mystery or thriller, action thriller, and then right when you get to the end, you're wanting to see the ending, and then the power goes out. Then when the power comes back on, it's another episode. It's like, wait a minute, what happened to the last one? They don't get to see or hear what happens at the end unless everybody else calls in and at least lets them know, hey, good job, we had another save. Call them every now and then. They like to hear. But on August 1st, 2017, Desiree took a call that was transferred from St. Lucie County Dispatch. After being unable to communicate with the caller, she proceeded to call back multiple times in an attempt to make contact with the caller. After the attempts failed, she contacted St. Lucie Dispatch for more information. Their dispatchers relayed that all they were able to get out of the caller was a numerical and the word ocean. Is that a lot to go on, especially in Martin County? Desiree noticed the call ping near Ocean Breeze Park. All right, that's a clue. Following her instincts, Desiree dispatched Engine 16 and Rescue 16 to investigate. After arriving at the address, they figured out why the caller couldn't articulate their needs. They went into cardiac arrest. 16 crew was able to provide care and get pulses back and get the patient to the hospital alive because of Desiree. Thank you. On December 31st, 2016, Billy Jones was off duty. For those of you who don't know Billy, he's a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And he happened to be off. They were in the Walmart parking lot, and amazingly enough, something happened bad. Well, apparently there was a theft taking place. Well, an off-duty police officer happened to see it, leaped into action, and tried to subdue the assailant, or the robbery, the bad person. Well, the bad person was rather strong and overcame the cop. That doesn't happen very well. We have great law enforcement officers here in Martin County, but on this day, they were losing. So this Marine, this firefighter, our firefighter, jumped into action. And let me tell you, from the description of the cop that was there, he never wants to deal with Billy if Billy is in a bad mood, because he says what Billy did to this bad person definitely stopped him in his tracks. And I'll stop there. But he did an amazing job off duty and was able to literally prevent this. Who knows what this person could have done? Who knows if they were armed and what else they could have done in that parking lot to innocent families or other lives. So again, we do it all. So thank you to Billy Jones. Unfortunately, he was not here. Is anybody here to accept for him? Come on up, Chuck. Neil Emerson, would you mind coming up one more time? Did you know about this?
No. I thought it was here for a mustache award.
That's a few months away.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, well,
So,
I figure I got Doug beat. Yeah.
We have over 1,000 great people in the BOCC working every day for Martin County, providing service. Fire Rescue has 353. 300 in gear. And thanks to a great suggestion from somebody in the field, they wanted to bring back Firefighter of the Year. Then the problem was, who do we select? We have so many. But as I mentioned earlier, altruism defines us the best, all of us. It doesn't matter, like I said, if you're preparing apparatus, keeping it safe, if you're answering the 911 call, if you're supporting us through IT, emergency management, fire, EMS, ocean rescue, fire prevention, you name it. It's a selfless service type of mentality, because all we want to do is help. That's the paycheck for us. That's the bonus. But this guy, doesn't matter if he's on the clock or off the clock, he just wants to get things done. He has gone above and beyond the line of duty. His efforts on the planning and construction of the burn facility, along with the willingness to take on difficult projects, shows his dedication to ensuring members are getting the best possible training to deliver the best level of service. The burn facility will have a long-lasting impact, and thanks to our leadership over here, we'll get a permanent facility that will even have a better impact. So, thank you again for everything you've done, but as so, you have earned Firefighter of the Year for Martin County Fire Rescue.
Like I said, I thought I was here for a mustache competition, but they tricked me. One name that wasn't mentioned today that I have to say something about, because we basically, the guys that did all the construction and stuff, we took an idea from Chief Schobel and Pat Gallagher and just kind of ran with it. So Pat was a huge inspiration to what we have. And I appreciate all the work he's done and all the brothers and sisters that help with everything. So this is a huge honor. There's a lot of talent. Proby. There's a lot of talent in this room, a lot of talent in our department, and to be given such an award is a huge honor. So I accept this on behalf of my family and the guys and girls that helped make me a good fire officer. So thanks.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes our ceremony for today. Next year, I don't know, same time, same place. I kind of like EMS week. Yeah. Oh. All right. All right. Thanks again. Have a great and safe Memorial Day.